This is a question. It said, Board Beer has reported that the number of microbreweries in Ireland has increased to 75 in 2018, a five-fold increase since 2012. Each brewery produces a range of products such as lagers, stouts, and beers. This market is thus an imperfectly competitive market. Explain one reason why the above industry is imperfectly competitive. So the first question is that, what makes this market imperfect? So it is an imperfect competition because there are many small firms who operate independently. There are many small firms that operate independently. Going back to the question, they said that the numbers of micro brewery, that's few small firms have come into the market. And because small firms have come into the market, it makes the market to be imperfectly competitive. And each firm that comes to that market can individually decide whatever price they want to sell. That makes it an imperfect market. So the market is all about micro. So the market is all, we said micro. They said micro. So micro means little. So there are a lot of small firms in that market. So that means a lot of small firms have come into the market. It said five-fold increase since 2012. Five-fold increase, that means a lot of small firms have come into that market. And that makes the market imperfect competition. Because there's no barriers to entry. Is imperfect competition clear? The question says, explain one reason why the above industry is imperfectly competitive. There are different reasons here why this market is imperfectly competitive. One, because there are few firms, there are small firms, there are many small firms in that market. So that makes the market imperfect competitive. The second question says, state and explain three other key characteristics of this market structure. The first question is about why it is an imperfect competition. And I said, we already talked about why it's an imperfect competition. It's an imperfect competition because there are many small firms in that market. That makes it an imperfect competition. The second question says we should talk about the characteristics of an imperfect competition. So the first characteristic of an imperfect competition is that there's always product differentiation. That's one characteristic of an imperfect competition. And when you look at the market itself, here they said each brewery produces a range of products such as lagers, stouts, and beers. So they produce different kinds of products in that market, and that is product differentiation, which allows them to produce different products at any point in time. So that's the first characteristic. The second one, no barriers to entry or exit. Based on the case study, there are a lot of firms that have come in since 2012. It said five-fold since 2012. So that means there's no barriers to entry or exit. That makes more firms to come into the market. The third one, there are many buyers. In this market, there are a lot of buyers. If there are not a lot of buyers, if the demand in the market is not increasing, more firms will not come into the market. That's the third one. And the last one, each firm seeks to maximize profit. In an imperfect competition, they produce where MC equals to MR, which is profit maximization, maximizing level of output. That's the second question. Is it clear, please? Now, going back to the third one, they said, explain with a diagram the equilibrium position of a firm in short-run imperfect competition. Explain with the aid of a diagram the equilibrium position of an imperfect competitive firm in the short run. So we need to draw a diagram for that. The third question says we should draw a diagram, explain with a diagram the equilibrium position of a firm in the short run. So we need to draw a diagram for that. So to draw the diagram, now the conclusion says we should draw a diagram representing the equilibrium point of an imperfectly competitive market. You say, it said, explain with the diagram. I told you I'm not going to repeat myself. Explain with the diagram the equilibrium position of a firm in the short run in an imperfect competition. Now look at the graph, please. This is an imperfect competition. The question says, explain with the diagram the equilibrium position of a firm in short run. Imperfect competition. Okay, in the short run, the equilibrium position. The equilibrium position here, the equilibrium position is where MC equals to MR. Equilibrium MC equals to what? MR. This is your MC and this is your MR. This is equilibrium position. Do we get that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, based on this situation, the firm will be able to make supernormal profit. And how is it going to be able to make supernormal profit here? It's going to be able to make supernormal profit because the average revenue is greater than the average cost. This is the average revenue. The firm sells at, the firm produces where, sorry, at quantity 1, at Q1. The firm produces at Q1, sells at P1. Yes or no? It produces at P1, sells at
P1.
P1. The cost of production here is at Y. The cost of production, which is our AC, is at what? Y. Yes or no? So look at, are you with me please?
Yeah.
At Y, that is the cost of production. And it sells at P, where it costs to X. This is where it sells. So your average revenue is greater than the AR is greater than AC. Yes or no? These are our AR. It sells at X, it produces at Y. The cost of production is at Y, but it sells at X. Because AR is greater than AC, that is what? Supernormal profit. Do you get supernormal profit here now, please?
Yes, sir.
Do we get it or not?
Yes.
So this is supernormal profit. But what happens in this situation? The firm can still produce lower than the minimum, lower than the average cost of production at this point. This is not the minimum. The firm is producing at Y, yes? The average cost of production is less than. This is supernormal profit. This is supernormal profit. Supernormal profit. That's supernormal profit because it's at Y. But the minimum of the AC is towards R. You know, this is our AC curve. This is our AC curve. Yes or no?
Yeah.
This is our AC. It's positioning around here, but this is the minimum, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is the optimum.
Optimum.
Yes?
If they did that, would their AR be lower?
No. The AR will still be higher.
Oh.
But the point is that these firms do not care because they are already making supernormal profit. That's why they are not thinking about being productive efficient. And in this situation, because it's not producing where at the minimum of the AC, it means there's a waste of what? Resources. There is a waste waste of resources, which is productive inefficiency. Productive inefficiency. Do we understand or not?
Yes,
Do we get the question now? The question says we should draw a graph representing an imperfect competitive market. A firm operating an imperfect competitive market at its equilibrium position. The equilibrium position is where MC equals to MR. And if that is the equilibrium position, the average revenue is greater than the average cost. AR is greater than AC. The firm is producing at Q1, selling at P1. The cost of production is at C1, where it's Y. And the price is at P1, where it is X. Your average revenue is greater than your cost. X is greater than Y. Yes or no? So this is the supernormal position. Any question about that? So if this comes in the exams, these are all what you have to write. Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Now the next question says, explain the impact of new firms on the equilibrium. Because of supernormal profit, now the point is this, because of supernormal profit, more firms will be attracted into the market, yes or no?
Yeah.
So those firms, the existing firms in that market might lose some of their customers, not all, because there's brand loyalty, there's investment, there is funding of advertisement, which might make some of the firms, some of the customers to stay. But all in all, it's going to still lose some customers, which simply means the demand curve facing this firm will shift leftward, and this can be graphically represented as this. Because of supernormal profit attracts new firms. And as soon as new firms come, the demand curve facing each firm in that market will shift leftward. Demand supply. So this firm would lose some of its customers. Yeah, do you get the point here? So the new equilibrium will be at this point.
At a lower price.
Yeah. At P1.
At a lower quantity.
At Q1. Do we get it?
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be lower quantity and lower price. This is what the new firm, this is what the existing firms will face in the market. So what will now be the new graph for this situation? We're going to have this. We're going to have C1, P1 at the same point. So this is going to be our new AC curve. And the average revenue MR, AR, MC. So what is this situation? This situation occurs because this firm, the supernormal profit here, the supernormal profit has attracted more firms into the market. And because more firms have come into the market, the demand curve for each firm for each existing firms will shift leftward. Shifting leftward means the firm will now produce where C1 and P1 is at Q1. So the firm would not be able to make supernormal profit. The supernormal profit will start reducing to become what? Normal profit. And why is it normal profit? It is normal profit because AC equals to AR. This is still still our equilibrium.
So
Or AC equals to AR.
this is the same representation.
Yeah.
for
If supernormal profit will attract more firms to come into the market, and as soon as more firms come into the market, the demand curve facing each firm in the imperfect competition will shift leftward from D to D1, and that will bring about a fall in price and what? A fall in the supernormal profit. So a fall in supernormal profit will become normal profit, and there's normal profit because AC equals to AR or AR equals to AC. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any question about it? Yes.
So if you want to show in supernormal profits,
This is supernormal. Sorry. This is supernormal profit. This is the graph representing supernormal profit in the short run
Yeah. So
of an imperfect competition.
if they bring new people,
Supernormal profit will attract more firms.
more
And
funds,
as soon as more firms comes in,
this is gonna be
there will be a reaction in the market. The demand curve facing each firm in that market will shift leftward from D to D1.
Okay.
And this will now be the new equilibrium point position of a firm in the imperfect
So
competition.
if they ask us for the equilibrium point, we will have
It's
to
still only the same. Equilibrium point is where MC equals to MR. MC equals to MR at this point. This is your MC, this is your MR, the other point. But here, AR and AC are the same. So there's no more supernormal profit. Now they make a normal profit. So it is normal profit or break even. What do I call it? Normal profit or break even. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any question, please? Can you write?